Thank you. Mr. Dabbar, there is reportedly a backlog of contracts awaiting approval at the Department of Commerce, with only 5 or 6 being approved per day. NOAA alone has 5,700 contracts set to expire this year. These contracts include everything from post-hurricane flood assessments to janitorial services. Recently, NOAA came close to letting the contract expire for the Advanced Weather Interactive Processing System. The system is critical for weather forecasters to access weather data from satellites, radar, surface stations, and computer models, and to issue weather warnings. More recently, a data center at Texas A&M was shut down for several days because of bottlenecks in the department's contracting process, depriving Texas emergency and water managers of critical drought forecasts that help them manage reservoirs and track storm surge data and hurricane forecasts in real time. There are other critical contracts for Texas that are in Commerce's contracting backlog, such as routine maintenance repairs to NOAA's aging Hurricane Hunter fleet. Can you commit to addressing the problems with the Department of Commerce contract process and resolving the backlog of contracts?
Yes, Chairman.
Thank you. The Department of Commerce plays an underappreciated role in U.S. science policy, something you have a great deal of experience with, emphasizing applied science, technology transfer, and commercialization to drive economic growth. Given your experience managing national laboratories and advancing tech transfer at the Department of Energy, what lessons could the Commerce Department apply to better accelerate public-private partnerships and the commercialization of federally funded R&D?
So Senator, my kind of philosophy around federal government spending is it should be the equivalent of venture money. It should be the equivalent of triggering money to get the private sector moving in a certain direction. Certainly discovery science is a big part of it, but how do you translate it, as your question posed, is vitally important. So taking a look at the structure around Bayh-Dole and Weiler-Stevenson that actually makes that possible, but how do we make that easier? And also, how do we set up better communities for people to see what we've invented or supported invention, either in the private sector or in the universities? And how do we make it easier for people to go do that is certainly something I did at DOE and would look to push that forward at Commerce.
Thank you. I look forward to working with you in that regard. Finally, the United States has been a global leader in technological innovation due to our free enterprise system and strong rule of law. Our nation's leadership in critical emerging technologies like artificial intelligence will hinge on whether we embrace entrepreneurial freedom or instead adopt a European-style command and control regulatory scheme. You correctly recognize that the United States must continue to outpace China and remain the global leader in AI. What is at risk if we go the direction of Europe and the Biden administration and adopt heavy-handed AI regulations requiring prior approval before new innovations can be implemented?
So the AI sector, and you can't even say sector, but the AI applications are so darn broad. Everything from energy to agriculture to financial services, and I could keep going, is so wide that regulating something with that breadth and that width and people's ability to invent things across those and many other industries would impede economic progress and that whole sector and productivity for the whole economy and the welfare for everyday American citizens. So free enterprise and allowing everyone to develop across those and every other industry is vitally important for a broad set of reasons.
During the Biden administration, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, including the AI Safety Institute, looked at the worst of the European Union tech regulation, policing, quote, misinformation as a part of, quote, measuring AI and its, quote, risks. This was all nonsense. If confirmed, how will you restore NIST to its apolitical statutory mission and eliminate Trojan horse social policy?
So NIST has certain strengths that is clearly leader in the world, and one's on standards, one's on identifying the capabilities of certain technologies and measuring those. And so those, I think trying to have NIST stick to the traditional area that it does very well in versus expanding it into other areas, I think that's probably the right way to go for NIST in this particular area.
Terrific. So my final question is required of all nominees. If confirmed, do you pledge to work collaboratively with this committee to provide thorough and timely responses to the committee's requests and to appear before the committee when requested?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you. I have letters of support from various organizations for Mr. Dabbar's nomination, and I ask unanimous consent for them to be inserted in the hearing record without objection, so ordered. Senators will have until the close of business on Friday, May 2nd, to submit questions for the record. The nominee will have until the close of business on Monday, May 5th, to respond to those questions. So you'll have a busy weekend. That concludes today's hearing. The committee stands adjourned.